Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. So this is the last presentation um, of this online retreat. I'm honored to be able to have been able to present it, to share some of my thoughts on that important subject, and I hope it proved to be even just a little bit useful to anyone, and especially to the animals people, to our friends, the animals, our brothers and sisters. So there will still be a session tomorrow, but it will not be with like a presentation, like with slides. So I will talk a little bit, and then we'll do the practice tomorrow. So tomorrow it will be like the really concluding day, but I will just probably talk without any slides. So this will be the last slide kind of presentation. So what did we discuss in these 40 days? Quite a lot, and it was especially about leading a life that is aligned with compassion. It is a way of living with care. So it's not just dietary choices as we have seen. It embodies like a quiet, intentional commitment to causing less harm in all areas of life and as much as possible. So it's not about perfection. We cannot be. There's no such thing as a perfect vegan in this world. But we can do our best to minimize suffering, to minimize harm to all living beings, to all the animal people and all the human people, and also to nature and trees, even plants, flowers. We try to minimize and insects, of course. We try to minimize our negative impact on this world. And of course, not forgetting the oceans. As we said before, the ocean is not a resource. It's not a refrigerator for us to come and pick like fish and whatnot. It is just another home, another type of home. Like we have a home outside and there is a home in the ocean. We live on the outside air, and some beings live inside the water. That's their normal way of living. That's their home. So they can breathe underwater, but not outside, and we are the contrary. That is the only thing that is different. Causing less harm, that is the main philosophy, one could say, of the vegan lifestyle. It's like a compassionate philosophy that extends through our daily decision, like reflecting a deeper desire to live in harmony with the world around us. So it shows us it invites us to examine how our choices really impact the world at large, to open our hearts, open our minds, open our eyes and ears. How whatever we do is touching the lives of animals, our environment, and our sense of peace. Um, that is the main, there's like a main idea. And at its core, the vegan lifestyle asks a profound question. How can we move through the world with greater kindness, mindfulness, and respect for all living beings? I believe we all, or most of us, really resonate with that kind of idea, that kind of question. So the vegan lifestyle is like an answer to that, where we really put um, our values, our virtues in basically in action, not just talk, not just philosophy, not just reading books, but actually doing something about it in a very practical way, in the most practical way, and one of the most important way also. So yeah, so let's discuss this a little bit in this presentation. So it was over these 40 days. It was kind of a remembering of our deep values, our deep commitment to wish peace to the world, to the entire world, to ourselves as well. Um, we touched upon many dimensions of conscious living, of compassionate living, of kindness. We examined our relationship with all the animals and reconsidered our food systems and also the question the origins of our clothes, listen to the language we use, and yeah, we investigate the structure we participate in and cultivate inner peace along the way. And so there are many aspects that we discussed. Um, of course, the animals first and foremost, recognizing that they are living beings with that deserve to live and to be free just as much as we do. So, and we don't need to eat meat, we don't need to eat fish, we don't need to drink milk or, um, or cheese or butter or cheese or insects or birds. We don't need to. Well, we don't need to. It's not a necessity in our physiognomy, or all the contrary. We are not supposed to eat them. Our species is not meant to eat animals, and the fact that we do results in many sicknesses, many health crises, and yeah, and beside the destruction um, of the planet, we also destroy ourselves in the process. And that is very pity. It just all it takes is just a second to decide to view this as it is really, and to commit to make a change. So animals are really wonderful beings. They are the sweetest beings. I mean, we all know, many of us that has had or have dogs and cats. They are very sweet, very kind. They are very loving. They yeah, they are just pure angels. And all the animals are like that, not only cats and dogs. But we divided them in categories. Some that we call food product, other that we called like pets. But it is just categories that we created, and there is no such thing as pets or as wild, like wild animals. All animals are wild. Yes, we well, could say that we domesticated them, so to speak. Like dogs. Well, I think initially they were like wolves. And over like a long time, they became what they are now, so to speak. But at their heart, they've strong natural instinct as well. So yeah, so we discussed about the food system, of course, how to nourish ourselves without exploitation. Uh, we discussed the clothing industry, that we should clothe ourselves in a way that honors life. So it's like fashion that honors life, doesn't use leather, wool, silk, and any other animal-based product, animal-based skin. That again we do not need. There are alternatives, great alternatives that are much more compassionate. Also fur, of course. Fur is just an animal cloth, and just strip it out of them just for our convenience, our egoistical desires and wishes, not even thinking that what we wear was once a wonderful animal, an innocent one. So there's nothing cool about those clothes. Leather is not cool. Leather is wearing a dead cow's flesh. Fur is wearing like a dead fox flesh, and so on and so forth. And then we have also language that we talked about, how language shapes things. We need to say words that reflects respect for all beings, and not to use like idioms that are violent. Like killing two birds with one stone. That's horrendous. Can replace it with many other types of idioms. These and many others. We often, in our language, we don't really realize that we say it without thinking. But there are many violent like idioms, sentences in our languages, probably in all our languages, that pass down from generation to generation, and just say it without thinking. But if we stop, we pause, and we think about what they really mean, it's absolutely terrible. It's irrespectful to other innocent living beings, which are not. It's not true at all. Just a way to use language to numb our compassion, our kindness. It's a way to control us in some sense, subconsciously, unconsciously, saying things that we just think that are not true. So many idioms like that, like beating a dead horse, eating like a pork, or eating like a pig. Even though pigs are some of the cleanest animals. And poor horse, not only we exploit the horses, but we continue to beat them after they are dead. We should stop and reflect on that and just replace them with compassionate alternative. Maybe using animals in a good way, in a positive light. Then we talked also about systems, how to understand the structures of harm, how there are systems that do that automatically, systems of violence, and it's like all the industry, all the animal agriculture industry is a very violent system, very violent. It's like a criminal organization, very very powerful also, because somehow they succeeded to convert every one of us to their cause of violence, to their point of view of violence, and we all believe it is okay, so we don't question it anymore. Maybe we questioned it in the beginning, but somehow we are in in an illusion, in a dream world. And it is time to change. It is time to wake up to reality, to see things as they are and not as we have been brought up to through our education, for our belief system and whatnot. And and maybe what is the result of it is inner peace. When we align our values and actions, then that's the result. It's inner peace, is knowing that we are fully aligned. We do what we need to do. We minimize our contribution to these criminal organizations. We got out of the membership. And now we took the membership and we put it in a shredder. And then we are free. It's like when we have this membership card that says that we believe in the animal agriculture. As long as we have that membership and that we believe in it, then we are caught up in that system of violence, especially indirect violence, because most of us are not violent directly. We are not like kicking people around or kicking animals, but we let other people do it for us, which may be even worse. So we should stop both direct and indirect violence. And one of the best way, I would say maybe one of the only way, is aspiring to the vegan lifestyle ideals. And it's not just another philosophy. It's something much deeper inside, something that exists in all cultures, in all religions, in all spiritual practices. Something that is based on kindness and compassion. And beneath it all, we just ask one simple question. How do we live more kindly in a shared world? Or how can we also live more kindly in a shared world? A world where we share with many living beings, not only humans. We often, most of our organizations, helping organizations, almost all of them are only based on humans, to help humans in any kind of ways. So many organizations that do that, and they receive a lot of money from people, from organizations, from companies. So much money flows into them. And we completely forget that we are just one species among millions. So it's not only humans that should receive that kind of support, but all the organizations that help the um, animal people should receive at least as much support. Unfortunately, that is not the case, but it should be the case. Same with the laws. All the laws are about humans, most of them. But we should extend them and open them to all living beings and to consider them as fully sentient beings that are no different than humans, just they look different. But so some humans look different than other humans. Do we consider them as food? I mean, we grew out of it. Like, mostly that all the like racism in this world. We are probably not 100% there, but we have quite somehow understood as a society that the colors of the skin or what one believes in or one's religion has nothing to do with who people are, and that we are basically just one big family. And it's wonderful to have different colors of skin, different traditions, as long as they are compassionate, of course, different religions, different way of seeing things. It's wonderful. It's um, it's like expanding our hearts, our consciousness, expanding our possibilities, our having fun. Some like it's an adventure. So diversity is beautiful, and same thing with the species. To have different species is wonderful. It's not that one species is above another. All species deserve our consideration and to be peaceful. And some call it speciesism, like there's racism and there's speciesism. So speciesism is something that we have not yet overcome as a society. We see some species as superior to others, actually just one, the humans, and maybe dogs and cats. And yes, some cultures have different, maybe a little bit different ordering, but that is also very restrictive. It's in the human mind. It's just a convention, one would say. So we should reflect upon that. And those 40 days, we discussed many of those topics at length. Each day was seeing a different aspect of it. There were very few that were not really about the vegan lifestyle necessarily, but almost all of them, all of them were like connected to it in some way. But we see that there are so many aspects of it, and one can come up with even many more. But at its core, it's all about minimizing harm and maximizing kindness and compassion. That's what the vegan lifestyle is about. And it's not really possible to object to that. Can there be any objection to wishing to be kinder and more compassionate toward beings? So I think that's innate in all of us. But yeah, again, this is not a vegan world. So we have been kind of brainwashed into believing this criminal animal organization that we have a membership in as soon as we are born. So, but we can resiliate our membership. Sometimes we are members of some groups, but then we see that maybe maybe they do not align with our values, then we just quit. No harm in quitting if something is just not right. So, like if we are in the hunting, if with hunting membership, if we are in a hunting group, hunting organization that loves to go hunting, and then we start to realize that that is just wrong, then we leave, we quit, and then we try to also maybe convince some. And even if we can convince anyone, we ourselves know that it is not right. Or if you're in the fishing organization, we fishing with the fishing membership, then we just understand that this is like absolutely terrible. Instead of thinking that we are having a peaceful moment, basically we are just murdering an innocent being and defenseless being. And then so we resiliate our membership. So similarly with the animal agriculture membership, we can just it's like a global membership that englobes all the organization linked to it. Then we just resiliate our main membership, and that would include all of the sub memberships. One can look at it that way. So veganism or the vegan lifestyle is sometimes it is reduced to what we eat, like a list of foods to avoid or recipes to try or nutritional consideration to manage. But while this is maybe the most visible aspect of it, this misses the main point of the vegan lifestyle, which is the deeper ethical foundation that gives veganism its meaning and purpose. So at its heart, the vegan lifestyle is really a commitment to respect all animals as individuals with their own interests and also the humans too. We should not forget that humans are also an animal species. We refuse to participate in unnecessary harm. That's very important. It's not that we need to hurt animals; it's we choose to. And question that the normalized violence in our society, something that has become normalized. Yes, food is one of the most visible aspect of it. Of course, it's very important. It's most important. Basically, it's the most visible expression of this philosophy because we make a food decision like multiple times each day. So as we talked about in the past sessions, like each meal is a declaration of peace or declaration of war, declaration of kindness or declaration of violence. And each meal is an opportunity to practice compassion, to practice kindness, to vote with what we pay, with our hard-earned money. And to align our action with our values. It's our choice. Whatever we do makes a huge difference in this world. Even just one person who opens up their hearts to kindness is a huge win for the planet, huge win for the animals and for themselves and for the other humans too. So the vegan lifestyle is like a philosophy that extends far beyond the plate, inviting us to reconsider our entire relationship with the animal world, with the nature, one could say, with the planet, with Gaia. Gaia is like the our planet's protector, or like she's Mother Earth basically. but she cannot do much if humans destroy her land. So let's help Gaia, let's help this nature, let's help this world, let's help all the animals, all the humans. Let's help ourselves to understand this deeply, and to understand that this leads to peace, not only between us and the animal being kingdom, but also between us and other humans. So yeah, it's also a way of relating to animals. It transforms how we understand and relate to animals. It shifts our perspective from one of dominion and utility to one of respect and coexistence. So this is not only philosophical, of course, it's also in a practical way, changing not just what we do, but how we see it. So it's like from ownership, we own animal property as resources, to coexistence, to sharing the world with our fellow earthlings. From use, so exploiting animals for human purposes, to respect, honoring their inherent worth. From indifference, just ignoring animals because it's convenient to us, to learning about how rich their inner lives is and outer lives too. Many of us love to watch birds, for example, and it's wonderful to see how they live. Just watching from a distance, of course, not in the cages. I think cages are extremely cruel. Yeah, it's the choice of to see animals as a someone, not a something. Not recognize that they have preference, relationship, emotions, and subjective experience of the world that matters deeply to them. They want freedom, they want peace. So we have no rights to take it away from them. And unfortunately, most of us do that indirectly through our different choices in our lifestyle, be it from food or clothes, or even like experiments on animals, like from the medical point of view, or in fashion, or any products. Then we believe that we can use them, experiment on them, and there are so many wrong things in this world, and so many, my God. But we can change that, all of us together, one by one. We can become beacons of light, beacons of kindness, beacons of compassion. And it's all our choice to make. No one can do it for us. We need to make that choice. Since this society normalizes violence, then there are no laws to protect animals. That means we need to be like to make our own ethical, virtual laws, so to speak, in our own hearts. To understand that some laws are eternal, like the non-violent ones, ahimsa, is an eternal law, no matter which time, be it 10,000 years ago, now, or 10,000 years in the future. The rule, the law of ahimsa, of violence, of kindness and compassion, they are eternal laws. They will always be, even in a trillion years from now, even in another eon. And that will never change. It's not that suddenly this can change. Because that's who humans ultimately are. Consciousness made out of divine energy, divine vibration. That is the energy of true love, of power, but power in the good sense, the positive sense, of of kindness and compassion. That's who we truly are deep down. So when we stop our membership to the violent way of life, then we enter the one where we are supposed to always be, always have been. But that this world is not directed us to it initially. But if now we now is our time. Now is the time to become who we can become, to become heroes, to become true heroes in this world. Not like superheroes, you know. Often we see superheroes that have like special powers, like and they can often fly, they can become fire, they can their eyes can there's laser that comes out of the eyes, they can become invisible, can be very very strong often. But what for? Okay, so and we view them as like superpowers, like super beings. But then they help people. I mean, nothing wrong with that, of course. I like to watch that. It's fun. But the true heroes are those that are not visible, that are done like kindness and compassion acts that are done in silence without anyone knowing. And it begins with our plates, what we put 3 or more times a day on our plates. That's where true heroes are born. Even if a superhuman, like a lot of superpowers, then they eat animal-based food and they participate in violence as much as all of us. Then they also don't follow their action don't follow their values as well. It doesn't matter how many superpowers one could have. So the highest of all superpowers is kindness and compassion. That's the only superpower that we really need in this world. And each one of us potentially has that superpowers. It just one is to remember it and to practice it, most importantly. Not just learn about it philosophically, but practice that compassion and kindness to all beings. And understand the importance of that we are just one species among millions. And other species deserve as much of compassion and kindness as the humans do. So it's good to help the humans, of course, but not by neglecting the animals. Yes, so we make choices every day, like everywhere. So it extends into numerous aspects of daily life, even some that might surprise those new to this lifestyle. It's a holistic approach that includes many things to shows us to consider our impact of our choices across many domains, from the obvious to the overlooked. So what we eat, that's one of the main part of it. Choosing plant-based meals that nourish without exploitation, that is a choice that we can make. What we wear, so selecting fabrics that are not made from animal-derived materials like leather, wool, and silk. What we buy, like only seeking cruelty-free personal care and household products and cosmetics that have not been tested on animals. There's not a need to test on animals, it's absolutely atrocious. And we should check for cruelty-free and buy only cruelty-free products. And if it's not marked as cruelty-free, we should ask the producer if it is cruelty-free, if it was tested on animals. and if not, then that they should add a mark that it is cruelty free. So yeah, we also can see what we support. To contribute to organizations and businesses that are aligned with compassionate values, like animal farm sanctuaries, which are amazing. I'm not sure there are many of them, but they do exist in every country, and we should support them as much as possible. And we also should support farmers who wish to transition into a plant-based farming. That is absolutely wonderful. That's how farmers should think, should wish, is to get out of this killing industry into something that is compassionate industry, one could say. And also, the words we choose are very important. So we're using always language that reflect respect rather than objectification. Like seeing the animals as objects, as products, and usually in a negative way. And it's not about purity, it's about intention. The vegan lifestyle, we recognize that we live in an imperfect world where complete avoidance of harm is just impossible. But what matters most is the sincere effort to make kinder choices whenever we reasonably can. So with compassion to ourselves and others as we learn and grow. So that is a very important point, that we should not look for perfection, because that can be put us too much stress on ourselves, and maybe we can even stop being vegan because we believe we cannot be perfect, so it's better not to do anything. But we should not strive to, and we can strive. We can strive for perfection. We can want to be to do the best we can do. But we should also know that it's not possible to be perfect. It's a direction, basically. We move in a certain direction, but along the way we will go through maybe here and there, not necessarily the most direct way. Because harm in this world, it's hard to avoid. Even stepping outside, we might kill many insects, stepping on them, of course, unknowingly and not intentionally. And we are just not. What can we do? We need to move. So, but we try to minimize it. We need to be very mindful, of course. We should not step on them because our mind was elsewhere. We should look where we are moving as much as possible when it is possible. If we see a little insect passing, then we can just go around him or her, etc. So but in any case, so everyday choices reflect that lifestyle, and it's everywhere, really everywhere in this. Maybe it would be a good challenge today to reflect on that and to see in our daily life how much this plays a role in. We can watch ourselves and others, in the choices that we make, what we eat. Maybe we eat in the morning, maybe bacon, eggs, maybe we drink milk, and that is a choice. Then maybe we wear leather or wool or silk, and then that's a choice. Then we see others do the same, and then we see people not really caring about where they walk. So when they see insects, maybe they will just go on them. Some don't like spiders, so they maybe will hurt them. even though the spiders are also wonderful creatures. And then we can check what we buy. Do we buy quality-free products? We can check be mindful about our words. Do we say like insults all the time? And do we use the animals especially as insults? And this would be a wonderful mindful practice for today, like a challenge to try out maybe. So non-violence as a daily practice, or ahimsa as a daily practice. Basically, vegan gently trains us to like develop this the awareness of harm and all the alternatives to it. It's like a habit. It's a new habit of pausing before automatic choices, of creating space for more thoughtful decisions. And it's a daily practice of mindfulness, um, of mindful consideration that gradually shapes not just our habits, but the very fabrics of our character. At the same time, habits do define our character, so it's in a way it's also one and the same. So our character is shaped by the habits that we choose. So both of them are impacted. So we should ask ourselves some easy questions. Is harm necessary here? Whether we should ask every time is a particular action requires whether a particular action requires suffering, or if we simply inherited like unquestioned habits from the past, from society, from our family members, how we were brought up, etc. For example, when we were maybe kids, maybe our parents or grandparents or friends, maybe we went fishing, and then it became something like ingrained in us, like a habit, and we never questioned it. Maybe initially, but then we just let it be. But then maybe as we grow up, we can reconsider it. Is it really necessary? No. It just basically it's completely free harm, one could say. Harming for harming. And is there a kind of alternative? Sure. Just don't fish. Don't go fishing. Don't eat fish. So we seek options that reduce or eliminate suffering while still meeting our genuine needs. Do we need to fish? No, it's just a decision, for example. I'll just give an example. And can I choose less violence today? Even small shifts matter. Even every compassion choice contribute to a more peaceful world. So it's like an ethical compass. All those choices, all those questions. It guides us through countless decisions we make each and every day. And over time, asking this question becomes very natural, almost automatic. We don't think about it. And it helps us to navigate complex situations with greater clarity and compassion. So it's not just what we do, but who we become as people. Who do we want to be? So more attuned to suffering, and more creative in finding alternatives, and more committed to living gently in the world. So, of course, we learn over time. Even as vegans, we learned different things. And it's not an end product. It's an end thing. It's a continuous learning. It's a philosophy of continuous learning about new ways of being kind and compassionate. It's wonderful, isn't it? So it's about inner alignment. It's in alignment of it's the sense of inner alignment that we experience when our daily actions consistently reflect our deepest values, especially about those that about not causing unnecessary harm and that it is wrong. So something definitely shifts internally. Um, there's less conflict. We don't have this dissonance between loving animals and consuming them. Um, and then this is replaced by a coherent worldview, because we cannot really love them and eat them, or abuse them or torture them. That's not love. Um, I don't know what it is, but it's certainly not love. So when there's a greater coherence, again, everything is harmonious in our decision, no more contradiction, which create psychological ease. There's a calmer conscious, because we know that we do not contribute as much to violence in this world. We do our best to really minimize it. I know most of us, if not all, really want that, and maybe even believe that we do that, except that we've been conditioned, like brainwashed into believing that certain things are normal, and that animals are products, and so um, we wish to happiness and to have a calmer conscience, but we don't really know how. So the vegan lifestyle is a way to answer that question, and to practice it. And then we have a sense of integrity, so living authentically according to our principles, and that strengthens our sense of self. So basically, we live in alignment, and it often feels well peaceful. It's a relief that comes from no longer participating in what we recognize as harm. Um, so we don't need to be perfect. That is very important. It's not about achieving like a flawless adherence to some impossible rules or standards. It's not about never making mistakes, never encountering difficult situations, or never feeling maybe uncertain. So the goal is not perfection. It's like the sincere effort, continuous learning, and genuine compassion that extends not only to ourselves but to all beings, to all the others. So it's about learning. So there's always more to discover about living compassionately, as we discussed before. Always there's new information, better alternatives, deeper understanding. Then adjusting, we adapt our approach as the circumstances change. And as we gain experience, then we can navigate some situation better. Then even if we fall, that is fine. We just try again. When we learn to walk, we fail many times, and then finally we can walk and then run. And then we simply recommit to our values and continue forward and forgive ourselves. And we also offer like grace. We extend the patience and understanding to ourselves and others who are also navigating this journey. So all the other vegans or plant-based, or those that wish to lead a more kind and compassionate lifestyle, then we work together. So kindness grows best without fear. Um, and we should approach it with self-compassion rather than rigid perfectionism. Then we create the condition for sustainable, joyful practice, and we're more likely to maintain this lifestyle in the long term, um, when we treat ourselves with the same gentleness that we hope to extend to, that we wish to extend to the animals. So it's also a lifestyle that radiates outwards, of course. It often begins as a personal choice, but it reflects its effects extend far beyond the individual. When it becomes normalized in our life, it creates ripples that touch all sorts of different aspects of society, of language that we use, of social awareness. And social change rarely happens like through like dramatic singular events. It just emerges gradually through countless individuals that choose to live. How countless individuals choose to live. So that they choose to live compassionately, basically. So yeah, there are many things like individual choices that impact cultural shift, it creates cultural shift and the market change, there are more products, and it's often the language around that choices. So yeah, as more people practice these compassionate ways, then business responds by creating better alternatives, languages evolve to reflect changing values. So yeah, so all those terms like livestock, farmed animals, and it are replaced with they, with him, with her. So what was once normalized becomes now visible and questionable. So the narrative around the culture changes. That makes plant-based living increasingly accessible and understood. Um, when we eat like meat, we can say, "Oh, it tasted so nice." But maybe we should change that to "he or she tasted so nice." Then maybe that would make us think twice about what we eat. When we like uh, like minimize beings to eat, it's like creating a barrier between us and them, and then we think they are products. We think they are like a fruit, but no, they are living beings. So they are he and she, not it. And then if we change the language, then that could have a major impact on how we behave also. But the language was adapted to serve the animal agriculture and to serve violence. So it's very hard to change, but it's possible. Yeah, and so there's the power of living example. So like every person who chooses compassion makes it easier for the next person. So we normalize kindness by example, by being an example of kindness, by showing that the vegan lifestyle is not restrictive, not joyless, but it's a life affirming and peaceful. So that's what we should do to dissolve misconceptions through demonstration rather than arguments. There are so many arguments that can be produced by those who don't want to change. Often they are like nonsense arguments, I've heard a few. Some are genuine. I mean, like people who really genuinely want to know, and because they have been brainwashed in believing that protein is only found in meat, then they ask, "Where do you get your protein?" If it's a genuine question, then it's perfectly wonderful to respond. But if somebody asks like, "And what about the plants? Don't you care about them?" I mean, come on. That's not a serious question. I doubt anyone is really asking this seriously. And besides, even to that argument, there are quite important and strong responses. Like most of the plants, they are given to the animals. So plus we destroy all the plants because of the animal agriculture in order to have base for food created for the animals. So we destroy way more plants if we eat plant-based than if we eat animal-based food. That could be an answer, but if one even gives that answer, we will listen to that. We just walk away because the initial the initial reason to ask this was just more kind of teasing us, which can be okay. I mean, nothing wrong with teasing sometimes if it's not done in a harmful way. But the reasons behind many of the questions, so-called question, is not necessarily genuine questions, more like just an excuses, basically. One can divide questions and arguments into those that are real, that people really question because they really question, and those that are unreal or more like a teasing kind of questions that still have answers, but they are not really asked in the sense of one really wants to know. It's more about like proving maybe the hypocrisy of the vegan lifestyle somehow. Like so many of those, but there are also genuine questions, so it's okay to answer both with peace and without violence, so in a calm way. Always, never, not feeling hurt when people ask this, of course, especially not the real question. Then one should really answer really nicely, but even those that are not really a real question, one should still answer quite nicely but firmly. Then we also have a collective impact, and so every individual choice, it adds up, it aggregates into a very significant change. So then there's market shifts, so we can see that with vegan products everywhere. That's wonderful. That's so wonderful to see, like, products that are marked as vegan. And we see cultural conversation that begins with people choosing differently. Then social transformations happens when enough individuals align their values with their actions, creating momentum that makes systemic change possible and sustainable. There's like when we want to go to space, we need to have an initial velocity of certain speed in order to bypass the gravitational pull of Earth, and we need that energy in order to make that jump to space. If we just jump with our legs, that's not enough. So we need really spaceships, and we need a lot of shedding energy. At least for the moment, probably we have not found the best source of energy yet, or maybe we have, but we don't know how to make it yet work. But still, I mean, in any case, we need a lot of energy, and similarly, when there are like many people going together, it's like a very energetic thing. So the more people there are that choose compassion and kindness, the more we can break free from and make like systemic changes permanent, like really to get to a place where this will become kindness and compassion personified. So every person that switches to a vegan lifestyle is giving that energy. And when enough of us, when we have enough of us, like give this momentum forward, then we can break free from the normalized violence, one could say. If we like metaphorically, if we say that gravitation is like violence, then it's hard to leave this violence. But then if enough of us give our energy to it, then finally we can have that momentum forward and make changes in this world. Like changes often happens with very strong individuals that really ethical, individuals. like those that went against racism. There are some very strong persons, like Martin Luther King. There are many very strong individuals that went against violence, systemic violence, like Mahatma Gandhi. And how did they overcome this? Like with also with compassion, not with violent measures, but with enough people like going with them and making changes for the entire society from their examples, basically. And there are many such examples that did a lot of good things from their examples. Well, like Jesus Christ, for example, or Buddha. They showed the way to compassion, and that's why so many people follow them and try to be like them. So living examples are very important, and if enough of us really believe in that voice of compassion, of kindness, then changes can happen as soon as that happens. And this is not about, of course, different religions or spiritual practice. For me, all religions and spiritual practice are one. They just show us a way to kindness and compassion towards all living beings. That's the kind of the role of religion, to provide a framework for this compassion. Like the idea of living thy neighbor as thyself. That's and thy neighbor, unfortunately, is understood often as humans, but actually neighbors means all living beings. So yeah, in any case. So the closing reflection that veganism is not a destination, it is a direction. We are moving into the right direction. You know, if going south is violence and north is compassion, then wherever we walk, that's the direction where we will go. At the same time, if we walk south, we can stop, turn around, and walk north. It's our decision, it's our choice to make. So it's a direction towards respect to all beings, towards gentleness, kindness, to have less path, less harm, and toward like a shared flourishing, to create condition where life can thrive together. So wonderful when life when we live together, when we create loving, kind communities where everyone is respected, all humans, all animal beings, all insects, all fish, all ocean creatures. What a wonderful world. That would really be a wonderful, wonderful world. So thank you for working these 40 days with openness, curiosity, and care. Thank you so much for being here. I know I talked a lot because I'm passionate about it, very passionate. And all those questions, they don't have like simple answers, and that's okay. So what matters is that we are engaged with them thoughtfully and honestly, and we try our best to live in a kinder, more compassionate way. So yeah, I wish you to become beacons of kindness, of compassion, of light, of the divine light, through thoughtful choices that we make each and every day. Let us become examples to society. This world needs it desperately. This world needs good examples, And even if people do not respond, they still they are influenced. At least it's a seed. So we sow seeds of compassion, of kindness, that may sprout even years later. Doesn't need to be just right now. And every act of compassion, no matter how small, matters. Every mindful choice contributes to a more peaceful world. So if we protect that spider in our room, if we protect that insect that crawls around our room, and then we can simply relocate that spider or that insect, or just let them be. If where they are is not dangerous for them and they are safe, then just let them be there and enjoy their life. So, and even just a simple act as that has a gigantic ripples towards in the world. Even if no one sees it, the fact that we see it is important. So we cannot say no one sees it, we see it. We can never not see what we see, so to speak. So if we do something because we believe no one's seeing, like if we do violent things, but we see it, we know it. So everything has ripples. So let's again choose happiness, let's choose kindness and compassion. And let's choose a plant-based vegan lifestyle. That could be my last words. And at least consider it, think about it, do the Veganuary 31 days challenge. See how you feel, see how we feel. How do we feel, not only physically but also psychologically, from our heart? How does it feel to be compassionate to all beings? That's a wonderful feeling, isn't it? More than anything, it's like it's what we strive for, what we aim for. We all aim for happiness, but maybe we don't necessarily know how to reach it sometimes. Well, this is certainly a stepping stone towards that happiness that we all long for. This vegan lifestyle is awesome. It's one of the best things that one can do to both oneself and all the beings in our planet, and to Gaia, to Mother Earth. So thank you for listening, thank you for being here. And so tomorrow there will still be a session, like the last closing session. Tomorrow I will probably not talk a lot, there will not be a presentation, not slides at least, I'll just talk a little bit. But then we will practice most of the time tomorrow. But yeah, so this was my last presentation in this 40 days Peace and Compassion online retreats. So thank you, and let's go to our daily practice. So good morning again. Let's start our practice of the day, as always, with the short prayer. Just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will not be angry. Just for today, I will do my work honestly. Just for today, I will show gratitude for my many blessings. Just for today, I will be kind to all living beings. May today be a joyful, peaceful, blissful, and magical day. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all the beings in all the worlds be happy and free. And may our thoughts, words, and deeds contribute in some way to that happiness and freedom for all. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace to all of nature, peace to all living beings, to all the animal people, to all humans, and finally peace to our own self, to our own mind. Om. So let's move on to the gratitude session of the day. So just being grateful about anything and everything. Um, yeah, let's do that for a couple of minutes. and slowly come out of it. So now let's do a little bit of physical exercises. So we start with the Sufi rolls. So inhale with the chest forward and exhale back. And the other way. Back to center. Inhale. Exhale round. And come back to center. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, turn to one side. Inhale, extend the spine more. Exhale, turn a bit more. Inhale, center. Exhale, the other side. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, turn a bit more. Inhale, center. One hand on the mat. The other hands come and bend to the side. Stay here for a couple of breaths. The other side. And come back to center. Hands on the shoulders. Inhale, up. Exhale, back. The other way. Then put your shoulders up, tense them, and let go. Do it a couple of times. And relax. Now do the same with the legs and feet. Grab one knee, turn to that side gently. The other knee. Then put your legs in a diamond shape, a little bit forward, not close to you, and just fold forward very gently without pushing. Let gravity do its work. And slowly come back. So that concludes the physical exercise. But now, before moving into the relaxation and pranayama, let's take 5 minutes break. So, um, so let's start our relaxation part. We're going to do like in the past sessions. Going to do 61 points of relaxation or Shavyatra. Which is a wonderful way of doing, like it's a systematic body scan basically that focuses on specific points on the body, and that is very relaxing. At the same time, it also focuses our mind, so it's also pranayama. It's like a mixture of relaxation and pranayama, and it can be done at any time. I mean, almost any time, not while driving. So when one lies down in bed, one can do it or on the mat or after a yoga session. Instead of doing Shavasana, one can do Shavyatra. So this journey, corpse birth journey instead of corpse pose. So we'll do first a short body scan, and then we move to the 61 points. We do it once together and once on our own. So take a couple of deep breaths. Bring all your awareness to your shoulders. Relax your shoulders. Relax your neck, back of the head, top of the head, forehead, eyebrows and eyes, temples. Relax your nose and your nostrils, your ears, mouth and tongue. Relax your chin and your jaw. Relax your throat, arms and hands. Relax your back, upper back, middle back, lower back. Relax your front, chest, belly. Relax your hips, your legs, feet, toes. Relax your entire body. And let's start the 61 points. So bring your entire attention to the space between the eyebrows, to the pit of the throat, the right shoulder, right elbow, right wrist, tip of the right thumb, tip of the index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. Back to the right wrist, right elbow, right shoulder, pit of the throat, left shoulder, left elbow, left wrist, tip of the left thumb, tip of the index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. Back to the left wrist, left elbow, left shoulder, pit of the throat, the center of the chest, the right chest, center of the chest, the left chest, the center of the chest, navel, lower abdomen, right hip joint, right knee, right ankle, tip of the right big toe, tip of the second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. Back to the right ankle, right knee, right hip joint, lower abdomen, left hip joint, left knee, left ankle, tip of the left big toe, tip of the second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. Back to the left ankle, left knee, left hip joint, lower abdomen, navel, center of the chest, pit of the throat, and the center between the eyebrows. And relax. Now let's do the 61 points only, each on our own. and slowly open your eyes. So let's move now to pranayama. We're going to do similarly to the previous days. So 3 practices. One is controlled breath, one is Nadi Shodanam, and one is Brahmari. So let's start with controlled breath. 2 parts. One is breathing in and out for same number of seconds, and the other one breathing out 2 times the inhalation number of seconds. So we will inhale for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and we will watch out. The most important thing to watch is the quality of the breath and the quality of the practice. So it should be very smooth, like without hiccups. Very smooth inhalation, exhalation, very, very smooth. Should be without noise. Should be like belly breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, and like everything should be relaxed, the chest and shoulders so that we would not raise them. So another way of saying that is that we need to breathe deeply in a very natural way, not constricting the belly in any way. It should be without pauses, without retention. Both inhalation, exhalation, inhalation, exhalation, and exhalation, inhalation between them. And it should we should breathe from the nose, in and out. As much unless nose is blocked, of course. But otherwise, breathing in and out of the nose is the most healthy and the most natural. And yeah, here we want to calm down the breath, because the breath and the minds are very much linked. So when the mind is calm, then the breath will be calm, and when the breath is calm, then the mind will be calm. So it's a way of calming the mind through the breath. That's the idea. So let's do that. So breathe in 4 seconds, out for 4 seconds, for a couple of minutes. Starting now. and slowly open your eyes. So now we're going to do the second part, which is 1-2, meaning we will breathe in for x seconds and breathe out for 2x seconds. So we will choose for 8, so breathing in for 4 seconds and out for 8 seconds. If that is too much, just do 3-6 or 2-4. And same quality of breath. So let's start now. And slowly open your eyes. Let's move on to Nadi Shodhana, so alternate nostril breathing. So we're going to do all three types like we did in the past sessions, I think 10 sessions even already. As I said before, this is not necessarily how one should practice. So here we're going to do 1 time together each type and 3 times on our own for each type. So that may be a bit a lot. I mean, to do it always in one's practice. One can rather choose one type and then do that one for 3 rounds, and that could be enough. So, but here it's just a practice, so we do it all so that we practice all of them and we are ready we understand them and we can remember them better. So alternate nostril breathing again, we go to Vishnu Mudra, bend the index and the ring and the middle finger, and we block the right or left nostril. We can also put our two fingers on the third eye and do the same with the thumb and the ring finger. We would rather do that one, but if that's not comfortable, you can just bend them and do this. And yeah, the breath should also be quite smooth. One nostril will be more blocked than the other, that's normal. As long as it is not completely blocked, it is fine. And yeah, if that doesn't feel comfortable, just don't do it. Don't just do like controlled breath or meditate or breath awareness. If you feel dizzy, then of course you should stop. Maybe something is wrong, how we do it, or maybe just not the right time to do it. Breathe in and out, we're going to do not too long, just maybe 4 seconds. No retention also. So this is safer. And yeah, so let's do that. So let's do the first type. First type is if we block the right nostril, then we exhale left, inhale right, exhale left, inhale right, exhale right, left, inhale right, exhale right, inhale left, exhale right, inhale left, exhale right, inhale left. That's the first type. So let's do that together, 1 round and then 3 rounds on our own. So take a big inhale, exhale, inhale to start. Block right, exhale from left. Switch inhale, switch exhale, switch inhale, switch exhale, switch inhale, exhale from same, switch inhale, switch exhale, switch inhale, switch exhale, switch inhale, and relax. So each round starts with the other nostril, and between rounds we can just relax a little bit, maybe a couple of seconds. So let's now do 3 rounds of that first type on our own. Now let's move on to the second type. So second type is same thing, but the pattern is if you close the right, exhale left in a left, switch, exhale right in the right, switch, exhale inhale, switch, exhale inhale, switch, exhale inhale, switch, exhale inhale. That's the second type. So same, let's do it one time together and then 3 times on our own. So take a big inhale, exhale, inhale to start. Block right, exhale from left, inhale left, switch, exhale right, inhale right, switch, exhale, inhale, switch, exhale, inhale, switch, exhale, inhale, switch, exhale, and inhale. Take a couple of seconds rest. And let's now do 3 rounds on our own. Remember, each round starts with the opposite nostril, and you take a couple of seconds rest, and if that doesn't feel right, just stop, and if you feel dizzy, then stop. Any condition, you should stop too or not do it. Listen to your body, as the saying goes. So let's now do the third type. So third type is, imagine we close the right, then exhale left, in a left, exhale left, in a left, exhale left, in a left, switch. Exhale right, in a right, exhale right, in a right, exhale right, in a right. That is the third type. So let's again do it once together and 3 times on our own. So take a big inhale, exhale, and inhale to start. Close right, exhale from left. Inhale left, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, switch, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and inhale, and relax. So let's do it now 3 times, 3 rounds on our own. and slowly open your eyes. So let's do our final practice for the pranayama, which is Bhramari. Just inhale, close the mouth, and make the sounds. You choose the tone, the length, whatever feels right. And this is very calming to the nervous system. Very good to do like before going to sleep. Even for physiological reasons, like stimulating nitric oxide in the nostril cavities, and then this in turn dilates the vessels in the lungs. So it's very beneficial. So let's do that at our own pace. Do not follow me. And relax. So now we finished pranayama. Going to move to self-dialogue and meditation, but let's take 5 minutes break. So let's move on to the self-dialogue part. So, so I already discussed it quite extensively in the past, of course. But as always, all those sessions are self-contained, kind of. So I reintroduced them, trying to do it in a bit different way, but yeah, in general, it's similar. So, so self-dialogue is to have compassion to our own mind, to discuss things in a positive way with our own mind, to be kind and compassionate to ourselves, to talk with ourselves in a compassionate and kind way. Because whatever we say, any word that we utter has some energy behind it. Either makes us feel good or not. So best to really have a positive self-talk. And the idea is also to let the mind kind of steam out before meditation, where meditation is kind of the opposite, where we don't want to follow the thoughts. Self-dialogue is where we do follow the thoughts, we do think. Because in any case, we think all day long. So at least this time we have some time to ourselves to talk in a positive way. So it's not a gossip kind of talk. It's not about what we are going to do in the day, or but it's more about kind of higher truths, or higher higher talking, more important talking. There are different ways that we can talk, there are different categories. Some of them are like prayer. Prayer is a self-dialogue, where we can either be self-made or pre-made. Self-made is when we ourselves create the prayer, like from our heart. It's very powerful to do that. And pre-made is when we follow something that is pre-made, whatever that may be. Can be scriptures or a practice, philosophy, something that is pre-made, basically. But it's also good. Doesn't mean it's not good, but it's different than a self-made. So this is prayer, and we try to talk in our mind, so not out loud, not with our mouth, but with the mouth of our mind. No one needs to know what we pray for, what we want. No one wants to know that we wish well to all. It's it should come naturally. We should not say it out loud. I mean, we can, but in this practice, we try to talk in silence. Of course, if we are alone in the room, then okay, it's fine to talk out loud. Sometimes it can help, but usually it is in our own mind. Then there is the category of gratitude, which we do every morning. Every morning we do a very short gratitude session of a couple of minutes, which is very helpful. Because it is believed gratitude is the mother of all virtues. I would add to it kindness. Kindness and gratitude are really both very powerful virtues to develop. Basically, all the other virtues come from them. When we are kind, we don't want to steal from people. We don't want to hurt any being. When we are really kind and understand the suffering of all beings, then we stop. We do our best to minimize the harm, whatever that harm may be, even in words, even in thoughts, and of course in actions, which is the most potent one. But actions stem from thoughts. So if we purify our thoughts, if we develop virtues, then our action would follow our purity of thoughts. Same with the words. Words also come from our thoughts. So if our thoughts are pure, our words will be pure. That's why we need to keep our thoughts very, thoughts very, very pure. And our words too. We need to be very mindful of what we say, and to avoid insulting people all the time. Sometimes we have this habit of in this society that we live in, many people insult other people all the time, and it's a bit, for those who do not do it, it's quite hard to be next to those people that always talk negative and always so many insults. It's kind of believing that we are better than others. It's kind of false belief that we are superior to others, and if we insult them, then it's a kind of for us proving that superiority, that they are they are idiots, and we are not. So that is just an egoistic, a form of egoism. So we should keep our mouth pure, both what we eat and what we say. So gratitude, developing virtues, gratitude. So it's not only gratitude, it's also a way of developing virtues of humility, saying that we are all interdependent on one another. No one is an island on his or her own. Absolutely everything is dependent if we think about it. Our clothes, somebody made them. Our bed, somebody built them. Also, if it's wood, then it comes from nature. Everything that we think of, our food, comes from some farmer who work hard, and then a supermarket had to have this food and then also sell it, etc. So it's a whole system, economic system. So on, we can think about that in that way, how everything is interdependent. And we depend on nature too. Without nature, we are in bad shape. That's why we need to protect nature. We need to protect the oceans and the land and the sky. And all beings that walks on earth, we need to protect them as much as possible. So that's gratitude. Then we can also have affirmations where we say positive affirmations to direct us into a good path and to influence our thought patterns, basically, to make it a habit, to change habits in some way. That's also why we can say affirmations, positive affirmations, of course. Then we have this metta meditation, which is the loving kindness Buddhist style meditation. One can listen to it. There are many videos on it on the web. One can listen to it. Many guided meditations. So one should wish well to all living beings, humans and non-humans. And then the idea is to wish well to all those that are close to us. That's the first step in different formulas, wishing them peace and long life and health and success and all. Then we wish that to those that are neutral, those that we do not know necessarily, not well at least, and those that are difficult to us in any shape or form. Even to them, that's probably the hardest part of this meditation, but maybe the most rewarding and expanding, because we are not used to wish well to those who we have difficult with. It's a way of expanding our consciousness, understanding that we are, that even they are basically beings. They have their own issues. So, if everyone is peaceful, then no one would bother us, would they? If everyone was truly happy, then again, they would not bother us. So that's why we wish happiness to all beings, in all countries, all races, all species. And then we have contemplation on higher truths. That is a question like, who am I? Which is a wonderful question. Just thinking about it, introspecting about this concept of who am I. That's basically the beginning and end of spiritual practice is contained in that question, that single question. Who are we really, deep down? And also, who are we not? So it's kind of who are we not maybe easier to answer than who we are. Like, are we our profession? Are we our material possession? Even are we our habits? Well, habits, they change with time, so we are not our habits. Habits are just accumulations of actions that we perform for a long time. But if they are not useful to us or harmful to us or others, then we can change them. And we should. So, so we are not other than who am I not, so, etc. We can go very deep in those questions. And there are also other questions, not only that one. So in yoga, there's called Mahavakyas, like great utterances of great sages of old. In the usually in the scriptures, can be also mantras or whatever. Basically it's this self-dialogue on higher truths, on our spiritual aspirations, spiritual wisdom. And then we have self-counseling, where we focus more on kind of ourselves, what we want in life, what we strive for, what are our goals, if what we do is useful. If I believe that's one of the questions that one mystic asks us to ask, is it useful? Like anything that we do, is it useful? I think it's was it Swami Chaneshwara? Possibly, I think. And so anything that we do, we think, is it useful? Is whatever I'm going to do, is it useful to to achieve my goals, basically, or to me and others. So that way we can separate what what is not useful from what is useful. Doesn't mean that we always need to do useful things. Um, Many fun things are not useful, so to speak, but one could say that they are useful for our own well-being. So, like playing games, playing sports, they do, they do play a part in life, and they are important, and they are useful for our own well-being, our own welfare. And it's fun. Fun is a wonderful thing to laugh and to be just happy. So useful is not always something that is like a practical, like building something. It can also be for our own well-being. And yeah, and also to know what we really want in life in general, what is our aspirations, goals, is extremely useful to know. We we do not think about this enough. I think we are caught up in life, in the happenings of life, whatever those may be, and then we kind of forget to ask this question: what do we really want? It's a beautiful question. I mean, it's a positive question. It's not a sad question. It should be something that is positive. What we want could be that we want a cookie. That's okay. That's a valid want. Maybe, yeah, prepare cookies maybe. Or what do we want? Usually it's more about higher goals, like maybe one month wishes to be good parents, or to be very good at one's job, or to learn new hobby. Those are all good goals. So maybe to have more money in order to help more people. Nothing wrong with money if it's used wisely, etc. And there are also higher aspirations, like spiritual aspirations of enlightenment and mystical experiences, meditation, contemplation, peace of mind, peace of being, peace of the heart. So there are different types of aspirations, but yeah, we choose. Each one of us is an individual with choice. We need to choose well, and even if we don't choose well, then it's also a choice, and we learn from it. So we learn and we advance. Usually we learn from mistakes even more than successes. So yeah, so there's self-counseling. Then we have friendship with mind, where we just talk friendly with the mind, be very like a talk with the mind on any subject that we wish to talk to, and always in a good and friendly way. When we meet friends, we rarely, if ever, are angry with our friends. We always talk very kindly. We don't insult our friends. We don't talk negatively about them, even behind their back. We always talk positively about them, even to other people. So friends are very important, and yeah, there's always good feelings, no scolding. I mean, okay, sometimes it can happen that if one is really a good friend, then one will scold another friend because one wishes to help that person in any circumstance. So there is time and space for scolding. only if it is done wisely. Most of the time, it's not necessarily wise or kind of in a violent way, egoistic way, but scolding can also be very positive if done again wisely in order uh, to convey a very important message to the other person who did not yet understand it and maybe made the same mistake over and over again, and we need to yeah to try to help that person, and sometimes harsh words are necessary. um, but yeah, that's another topic. So let's do a little bit of self-dialogue now for 9 minutes. You choose the subject, and yeah, try to make a friend out of your mind. So let's move on to the meditation now. So meditation is kind of the opposite of self-dialogue. It's where we do not talk with the mind, do not try to talk with the mind. We let the mind think. Thoughts will come, but we do not follow them. We let them be like clouds. And we choose an object of concentration. In this retreat, it was the breath awareness, either at the nostrils or the upper lip, or the sensation of cold and hot air when we breathe in and out from the nose, or even the belly expanding and retracting. That's all object of concentration based on breath. We try not to move at all as much as possible. We try to be stable and comfortable in our position. And the breath is completely natural. So no, it's not a controlled breath. We let the breath in and out by itself without us contributing to it. So it's just watching it, being aware of it. And yeah, if we have thoughts that come, then we can think the word thinking. It kind of take us away from the thought patterns into the present moment again, mindfully. And then we can also count. So from 1 to 5 and back to 1, each inhalation, exhalation. For some time, this can be very calming. We can also think when we inhale in, and when we exhale, we can think out, in, out. Then that let the mind have some anchor. That makes it much easier to focus. But then sometimes afterwards, one can even let go of that. Or one can continue with it, depends on how one feels. So let's try that now for 9 minutes. So that concludes our session for today. So today, it was like a conclusion to the online retreats, the 40 days retreats. There's still going to be one session tomorrow. There will not be like a presentation like the other days, so no slides. I will talk a little bit and then we will start the practice. So it will be more on practice tomorrow. And it will be the absolutely last day. So today was like officially the last day. So we passed 40 days on this journey. I hope you enjoyed it, that it brought something to you, some maybe new concepts, new ideas, new perspective, new insights. I wish you well and to be happy and only the good things, all the good things there is in this universe, I wish to you. So thank you for being here with me on this journey, or even if it's just your first time that you come, then welcome. And let's end with the mantra. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all the beings in all the world be happy and free, and may our thoughts, words, and deeds contribute in some way to that happiness and freedom for all. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace to all of nature, peace to all living beings, to all the animal people, to all the humans, and finally peace to our own self, to our own mind. So thank you, and hope to see you soon, and bye bye.